Welcome to this explainer on raw garlic versus aged black garlic, the science-based guide to maximum allicin absorption. Let's get right into it because today we are shattering some pervasive kitchen myths with rigorous lab-tested science.
Okay, let's dive into this. Stop throwing your garlic straight into the pan. You are likely destroying the very compounds your body needs. Most people completely ignore the precise crushing techniques essential for allicin synthesis and bioavailability. So ask yourself, are you literally cooking your garlic's medicine to death before it even hits your plate? Well, the science says, most likely, yeah, you are.
Let's look at the 3 biggest mistakes we all make. Number 1, swallowing cloves whole. Doing this yields exactly 0 allicin. It literally just passes right through you. Number 2, immediate heating. Tossing freshly chopped garlic straight into a hot pan instantly denatures its vital enzymes the second it hits 60 degrees Celsius. And number 3, microwaving. Zapping garlic destroys 99.8% of its allicin in mere seconds. In fact, an NSF survey of over 1,200 home cooks found that 82% of us consume raw garlic completely incorrectly, totally neutralizing its cardiovascular and immune benefits.
To understand why this happens, we have to look at the cellular level. Intact garlic doesn't actually contain allicin. Instead, it holds 2 isolated components, an amino acid called allein and an enzyme called alliinase. Think of it like a 2-part epoxy glue. Mechanical damage, like crushing, mincing, or chewing, is an absolute requirement to break the cell walls and actually mix these 2 components together. Only when they mix does the chemical reaction occur to create that bioactive cardiovascular supercompound we all want, allicin.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the data from BenchChem showing the exact metabolic cascade. When you look at the pathway, you'll see it starts with allein. Then, garlic cell rupture introduces the alliinase enzyme, which creates the allicin. From there, human metabolism rapidly breaks that allicin down into downstream products like allyl methyl sulfide, or AMS, which is eventually what you exhale in your breath. But the absolute bottleneck for this entire health-boosting pathway is that initial cell rupture.
But here's the catch. It's a massive race against time and environment. Allicin activation is highly temperature and pH dependent. If you don't give the alliinase enzyme time to work its magic at room temperature, any subsequent cooking heat or even the highly acidic gastric acid in your stomach will denature the enzyme instantly. It stops the beneficial chemical reaction completely dead in its tracks.
Today, we reveal the definitive, science-based protocol to transform ordinary garlic into a cardiovascular superfood. Here is the non-negotiable rule. First, crush or chop the garlic to break those cell walls. Second, you absolutely must wait exactly 10 minutes at room temperature. This is the exact time required for peak allicin formation. Seriously, do not heat it during this window. Third, consume it with fats. Think olive oil, milk, or almond butter. The lipids actually help solubilize the allicin and buffer your harsh stomach acid so the compound can actually absorb into your system.
So, the crucial point is getting the dosage right. You might think you need to eat a whole head of garlic to see benefits, but the science says otherwise. The optimal daily dose of fresh, properly prepared garlic is actually just 1.2 to 2.4 grams. That's really just 1 small to medium clove. This precise amount yields the 2.5 to 5.0 milligrams of bioavailable allicin that clinical trials show is necessary to produce statistically significant reductions in systolic blood pressure and LDL cholesterol oxidation.
But be warned, more is decidedly not better here. Exceeding this narrow therapeutic window introduces some real risks. Clinical data shows that consuming more than 8 milligrams of allicin, which is about 4 grams of raw garlic on an empty stomach, can actually cause erosive gastritis. Furthermore, high doses can interfere with platelet inhibition, meaning an increased bleeding risk, especially if you take NSAIDs like regular ibuprofen. And, socially speaking, volatile sulfur compounds plateau in your breath and sweat, extending your body odor saturation non-linearly for up to 16 hours. Nobody wants that.
For many of us, the strict PrEP protocols, the potential gastric distress, and that intense raw garlic odor make it a really difficult daily habit. But as research from Galix points out, quote, aged garlic offers gentler, longer-lasting protection, it contains more stable compounds, has a milder flavor, and is easier to digest. Let's elevate our understanding for a second and look at this incredibly powerful, science-backed alternative. This is where the fermentation upgrade comes in. We can completely bypass the volatility of raw allicin and transform ordinary garlic into a cardiovascular superfood through the power of heat-aged fermentation. Aged black garlic is created by taking raw garlic and exposing it to temperatures between 60 and 90 degrees Celsius in high humidity for several weeks. This triggers the Maillard reaction, the exact same process that browns your food, transforming ordinary pungent white garlic into a dark, sweet, and highly medicinal cardiovascular supplement.
This aging process fundamentally changes the garlic's chemistry, solving all the major hurdles of raw consumption. While raw garlic relies on highly unstable allicin, aged black garlic is packed with a compound called S-allocysteine, or SAC. Now, SAC is a highly stable, highly bioavailable, water-soluble antioxidant. And because it's already formed during the aging process, you don't need to crush it, you don't need to wait 10 minutes, and it absolutely won't be destroyed by your stomach acid.
And this brilliantly illustrates that you aren't losing health benefits by making the switch. Semantic Scholar data comparing raw garlic, labeled RG, with aged black garlic, labeled ABG, in animal models of cardiac ischemia and reperfusion, which essentially simulates a heart attack, reveals some striking results. The data clearly shows both significantly boost the levels of cardioprotective HO1 proteins. The study confirmed that the aging process does not alter the powerful cardiac recovery benefits of the garlic at all.
Let's put them head to head for a second. Raw garlic gives you allicin, which, as we saw, is a powerful but highly unstable, short-lived antioxidant that can easily irritate your stomach and requires a super strict preparation protocol. Aged black garlic, on the flip side, gives you SAC. This is a highly stable, long-lasting antioxidant that is gentle on your digestion, completely odorless, and ready to absorb immediately. Let's move to the clinical side and see how this builds into real-world outcomes, because the systematic reviews show staggering numbers for aged black garlic. SAC boasts over 90% oral bioavailability. The aging process increases the SAC content up to a massive 8,000 micrograms per gram. Clinically, it's proven to significantly lower inflammatory markers like TNF-alpha, and it effectively reduces arterial stiffness, which is a key indicator of vascular aging.
Looking at the bioavailability data side by side really drives this home. SAC from aged garlic provides consistent, rapid absorption with over 90% bioavailability. It just works. Allicin from raw garlic, however, it has a wildly variable bioavailability ranging anywhere from 22% up to 111%. It is highly food-dependent, highly pH-dependent, and totally dependent on whether or not you follow that 10-minute resting protocol to the absolute letter.
So the science is crystal clear. Both raw and aged garlic are phenomenal for your cardiovascular health, but only if you respect their chemical realities. Now that you know the exact mechanisms behind these medicinal compounds, the choice is entirely yours. Are you going to commit to the strict protocol, crushing your fresh garlic and waiting exactly 10 minutes before dinner tonight? Or will you opt for the stable, easily absorbed power of aged black garlic? Either way, you now have the scientific blueprint to maximize its benefits. Keep learning, use this data to upgrade your health, and we will see you next time.